Wait a minute. That's not what it's like to work here. That recruiting video's just a hunk of shit.
Good evening, Tabletop Nerdcasters. I'm Mike, and we are back to you with another episode of our Star Wars Age of Rebellion campaign, Galactic Youth. So, as you may know if you've been following along with us, we have Percy, who is playing Aaron, and we have Rick, who is playing Moringa. We did have another player that was with us, and unfortunately his character died mid-campaign. And
Dewey.
our PCs are now starting to have to deal with some of the fallout that is coming from that. So poor Thuy. Thuy has moved on. We do expect to have another person joining us in the future. So stick around, and maybe you guys will be able to see a new player. Maybe not a new face, but a new player that will be joining us at the table for the rest of the campaign.
Much prettier than us.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm the prettiest one here.
Absolutely.
That's
I
what I meant.
concur.
Okay, because if not, then I got a whole lot of dark side pips to give out.
Yeah. I told you I only have one red die tonight. That's all we're allowed.
No. You'll be rolling that bad boy over and over and over again. Just depends on what you guys are going to do. So last time on Star Wars, and we're not going to go into our normal intro where we're going to have everybody, jump back and forth on a little saying or something that happened during the last episode. I'll just give you a brief recap. Last time on Star Wars, our heroes here, or pseudo-heroes, they made it back to the base, and we're giving a debriefing to Captain Pike. Unfortunately, things got a little heated there at the end, and that was where we wrapped up our last session. Aaron was a little bit worked up. Isn't that correct, Percy?
Yeah, and I think I want to change our term from heroes to protagonists.
Protagonists.
Because we're not... I dropped a human being from about 5 stories up and let him perish.
It's not good, man. I don't like that.
Protagonist, yes. Hero, not so much.
I
Maybe
use
speak
it
for
in
yourself.
the loosest version of the truth. Okay?
You use it as in, like, heroes are the key figures played in the show.
Hey, heroes is what they always say.
Well, anyway, for those that are new here, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment down below. We are just a small channel that is trying to grow and put out as much quality content as we can between our PC video gaming and between our tabletop role-playing games. We all came together and started off in our tabletop role-playing games, and we're starting to expand some of that content as we speak and as we grow. So, without any further ado, I think we're going to move forward. Okay? So, scene's going to kind of open back up here, guys. And Aaron, you're kind of standing there, as you described, with your hands on the edge of Captain Pike's desk. And you're heated, and he can obviously tell that you're worked up. And he looks back across the table at you, and he's not really flinching or backing down from you at all. But he's also not trying to push the situation any higher, okay? But he looks back at you and he says, "Hey, Aaron, I understand you lost you lost a compadre. You lost a friend. And if you think that I'm just going to turn a blind eye to the fact that you did lose someone, I'm going to tell you right now, we've all lost someone. But understand, what you were able to accomplish and the information from what I was told that you were able to bring back could potentially save hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. Just in this area alone, not to mention across Coruscant."
Is that what you tell yourself? Is that how you feel better about what you did?
That's what every commander has to say.
Miranga, he has
'Cause it's
changed
true.
his tune.
Man, you sent us to die. We could have all died.
Every one of us could die every time we turn around. What happened with... Why were you in jail? Couldn't you have died there?
It was a setup or something, man. I don't know why they put us in jail. We still don't know. How do we know it's not some part of your plan? I'm beginning to wonder, have you been manipulating this whole thing from the beginning?
No, there's no manipulation. I simply gave you a choice. You chose to go on this route.
How do
Now,
we know I can trust you? Dewey's dead. And you knew this guy that killed Dewey?
My problem is not with Thui's death, though it is sad. My problem is that we are now being blamed because he was dead.
who's blaming you?
man.
The Black Sun?
Well, that was the last thing that he said before I stood up, was like, he started reaming us because we left Thui's body and we left that guy alive.
Okay, fair enough.
That was, and so that's what I'm trying to bring
Yeah,
back
you were
in.
okay when you found out he mutilated his face. That was okay with you, but not him dying.
No. You don't understand. I didn't want you guys to be tied to anything. If you left a body there, if you left someone there, there are security camera footage of all three of you in other various places. And at some point in time, somebody's going to connect those dots. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to connect you here. But somebody's going to connect those dots, which could potentially put a target on your back.
You're worried about yourself.
No,
This
I'm
is
not
correct.
worried about myself. I'm in danger every single day. I'm out doing missions just the same as you are. I don't sit here behind this desk.
The sentiment is appreciated.
I don't know about that, man. I gotta think about that, man. This doesn't feel right. It
All right.
feels like a setup.
Maranga, what do you think would make it better? What do you think, not necessarily make it better, but what do you think I would need to do to prove to you that I'm on your side? That I'm just concerned that you guys have a chance to survive this. Because people might have known your face.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is all new to me. This is not. I mean, this is just all new to me. When Chobor died, I blamed the Empire. Now Thui's died, and I blame you. I don't know where to turn. I don't know what will make this better. I know I hurt, and I want to hurt somebody. I wanted to hurt somebody when Chobor died. That's why I came with you, man. That's why I came along.
So this is all about revenge then. For you. No greater good?
What is the good we fight for?
Yeah.
Why? Who is to say that you are not another empire that will be just as vicious as the last?
Faith.
Faith in what? You have to have an object to faith.
No. You just have to believe that the cause that you're fighting for is more just. And I have that belief.
Well, you're going to have to convince me. I don't know. You can't do it with words. I'm going to have to see it. I'm going to have to know. Yes, I wish to hurt the Empire. I don't. What you did is not the same as what the Empire did.
Moringa, how would you like to end the Empire? Officially.
How would I like to end the Empire?
What is the next step?
Just have them turn into nice people. You know, have them.
That is a very different song than you were just singing. You
If
wanted
they-
to hurt the Empire a moment ago, and now that he offers you a way to do it, you do not want it?
Yeah, but
Strange, Marie.
how many people are gonna die? How many people are gonna get hurt by this?
I don't know. You want an honest answer? I don't know. But I do know that you have a specific skill set that young Jack that's sitting in the other room could use.
Jack.
And he knows, or he's got an idea on how to make this happen.
Does he?
More children.
Yeah. You use children. We used to blame the Empire for doing the same thing. For
We
not
used to
caring
blame the
about
Empire
children.
for taking children and not giving them a choice. I'm giving you a choice. If you wanted to walk away today, you could walk away today.
I could walk away right now. No problem.
You could walk away.
then I am gonna stand up and walk out of the room and find Jack.
He's not hard to find. He's actually hanging out right outside the door.
Yeah, sure, but like my point is like I just kind of nod my head, stand up, and walk out of the room.
And as you're getting up and walking away, Aaron, again, this is your choice. If you decide to walk out those doors, I have to have faith in you that you will not turn on us.
I have faith that if we encounter one another again on friendly terms, then it will be my destiny to fight for you.
Destiny.
You have seen what I can do, Moringa.
Yeah.
Destiny is all.
You killed a man.
Yes.
In cold blood.
No, he was literally shooting at us.
But
That was not cold blood. We were escaping for our lives. That is not cold blood.
We were stealing a speeder.
That we were instructed to steal.
Yeah, not by
To
him.
escape from people who wanted to kill us and imprison us, actually in cold blood. Moringa, you have got to understand this empire a little better.
I saw what they can do. That's why I agreed to come as far as I have.
You also saw what I can do. And if this is where our paths part, then I'm sure I will see you when I encounter the captain again. And this is the part where we decide if we make Mike entirely split the party or not.
I do not know what I wish to do. But Jack, as discombobulated, for lack of a better term, as he was, man, I would like to hear what he has to say. You said he has something he could use my skill set.
Yes, he does.
If I can leave when I no longer feel that I am fighting for the right side, then I can take another step until I determine. But I will tell you this. What happened to Thui? If that is the norm and not the exception, I will be gone.
That's fair enough. Now, what I can tell you from my command structure at this point is that this person, he reported to a completely different cell. And I had no knowledge that he would be working this particular case. Why he chose to make the actions that he chose, I will promise you this. I will put an inquiry to that cell's leader and get you an answer as soon as possible. If you are not satisfied with that answer, you are free to go and take whatever revenge you may feel is necessary.
I do not feel a need. Man, I don't feel a need for revenge on you. I just don't know.
I'm not saying against me. If you felt revenge against me was what you needed to do, then I'd tell you the same thing. Take whatever you need to do. I am not here to tell you how to live your life.
Fair enough.
I'm simply
That's
here.
up to my mom.
I'm simply here, in my opinion, trying to give the rest of the population of this planet an opportunity to decide what they want to do with their lives. And that is how I justify it. Not everybody's going to be happy with those choices.
No, that is true. That is very true.
All right, so Aaron, you still walking towards that door?
Yeah.
All right. So, by all means, if are you gonna open the door like you're planning on leaving to go find him?
Yeah. No, like I'm not gonna like be slow about it.
All right. So
basically, as soon as I finish saying that to Moringa, I'm gonna turn and head out.
All right. So as you open the door, Jack is like just literally across the hallway, just almost on cue, waiting to come in. And he's his eyes kind of glance up and see you standing in the doorway. And he's like, "Oh, hey, Aaron. Oh, did Captain Pike send you out here to get me?"
No. For now, I think we are parting ways, but Jack, if you specifically need me, here is a secured comm channel that you can communicate with me on.
Oh, man, that sucks. I could have used y'all's help. I mean, y'all helped me get out of that prison.
If you need me, contact me.
Well, why are you leaving, man?
I have things that must be done.
More important than officially taking down the Empire? I don't understand.
I know.
Can you give me just a couple minutes to tell you what's going on?
A couple minutes, I can certainly. My objective can wait that long.
So he kind of starts walking into the captain's office.
I'll kind of stand in the doorway. I'll let it close, but I'll stand like just inside the doorway.
You know, the captain steps up from his desk, from behind his desk, and walks towards the doorway and goes, "This is Jack's operation. This isn't mine. So, I already know the details. It's y'all's choice. I don't want you to seem like this is for me. Please excuse me." And the captain walks out of the office. So Jack's standing there, and he looks back at you, both of you, and he goes, I don't understand, but I'll let you know. My dad had a plan, and when we went back to my house and got some of the communications and information, and I was able to help them find what they needed to find, I realized what he was trying to do. And I'm really kind of pushed to make this happen, and a couple of other friends are going to help me, and I was kind of hoping I could maybe convince you guys to help me too.
You do what?
So do you guys know Masamada?
That name sounds like something that our GM has said to us before, yes.
It has. Several times. So, for those of you that are not familiar or steeped in Star Wars
He's on
lore,
house arrest in the Imperial Palace.
yes, he is. For those of you, and this is out of
Notes.
character, yep, right? That
My
are
notes are over on the bookshelf.
not
Forgot to
steeped
get
in
them.
not steeped in deep Star Wars knowledge. Masameda was the blue Chargan that was always standing next to Palpatine during any of the Senate episodes, and he was deemed as being pretty much Palpatine's second in charge. And that was a very big contradiction because most of the Empire did not like alien races. So that's why he was put under house arrest, is because of the sheer position that he held. Okay? Alright, so back into character. So Jack is looking at you and he goes, "So Masameda, this information that you guys got did confirm that he is held up in the Imperial Palace. He's under house arrest, and the fear is that some of the regional governors and some of the military and the generals and admirals that are here, there's a fear that they're going to try and kill him soon. Right now, he is still technically in charge of the Empire. They're just not listening to him."
Yes, he is a remnant of the Empire, so let them kill him.
Hey, it's not just that. They don't like people like us. I'm surprised they ever listened to him.
Well, they did, because as the Emperor was alive, he basically would share directions, share orders from him and directives from him to the regional commanders, and the regional commanders would just execute. So they all recognize him. The only elements that don't necessarily recognize his true authority now is because they're all vying for power, is the locals. The local military that is putting this planetary blockade under place. Now, if my father's plan was to get him and sneak him off planet, because we're right now his only hope for survival. And in doing so, he would be, I won't say coerced, but he would be driven to sign an armistice and officially cease the Empire as we know it, relinquishing control to the New Republic.
So you
You
think?
truly think that he will do this?
It's that or death. What
Yeah,
would
but
you do?
man, will everybody listen to him? So you think with one swoop that we can peacefully end this?
So maybe the bigger picture is that we all haven't been told, but some of us, some of the Captain Pike's command staff and some of the leaders that are here know is that what orbits Coruscant is not the entire military. It's only a small fraction of the military.
No, that would make sense.
After Endor, that military is split all across the galaxy. So if they received an order from Masameda today that said cease hostilities, they would still take that as if it was being disseminated, because they're getting the same PR that is being spread here saying that the Emperor's not dead. So why would they question it?
It seems logical. I mean, I don't know how commanders,
No.
they follow orders that they don't
I have quite a bit.
understand.
I have quite a bit that I have to do, and I do have some friends. And you remember that little? He starts chuckling. You remember that little staying that when we got broken out of prison and we were flown down here and they said, I guess now we're recruiting ankle biters. Well,
Yeah.
I decided to call my group the Ankle Biter Brigade, and I just thought it would be funny, and it kind of stuck. So there's teenagers from all over the planet that are kind of like information birdies that just let us know what we need to know, not really jumping into the fray. But there's another human boy and a Twi'lek girl that they both lost their parents in all this, and they're going to help me out. But none of them have the skills that you have, Moringa. And
But of course.
the only way that I know to get into the Imperial Palace is if we set off a very large EMP device and take down all of the surveillance in the area and break in.
Some pyrotechnics?
We could definitely use the distractions in other places with plenty of pyrotechnics. But I don't know how to set off an EMP device. I've got a lead on where to get one.
Oh, do you now?
Unfortunately, it isn't in any of the caches that you guys got information on. But there's another rival crime syndicate that's, about 100 levels down lower than where we're at right now, and they, let's just say the big guy's girlfriend is still sitting in that prison we just broke out of. If we can get her out, then he'll owe us a favor.
You talking about Masamoto's girlfriend?
No. Nope. I'm talking about. I don't want to get. I
You
don't
talking
want
about the guy that we broke out?
No, 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 no.
Who is the big guy?
I can't tell you right now. I don't.
We are
want,
in a secure office.
I don't want any information getting back to him. All I
Well,
can
we
tell
are
you.
streaming live, but yeah.
All I can tell you is he's a Hutt that lives here.
They are usually big guys.
So how do we know who is his girlfriend? How do we know how to get to her? How do you expect to get into another prison and break someone else out?
I'm working on all that. I just so I may have to call you, and when we get to that point, I just need to know that you guys aren't leaving for good.
As I said before, when you call, I will answer.
I will help. If we can end this without bloodshed and more people dying,
I don't think that's going to happen.
but you don't know unless you try, right?
Well, I can tell you this: an EMP is not going to kill anybody. But I can't speak
Not
for...
unless you would consider droids people. And I've known some droids that I like better than some people I know.
He laughs and he goes, "But I can't tell you if I can't tell you if we're going to walk around a corner and there's going to be a gunfight."
You know, the way I feel right now, I wouldn't mind a gunfight. I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. But...
little bit, but that's all right.
So we obviously have the confused teenager with a whole bunch of emotions going on right now, out of Moringa.
We're force yanking Rick out of his normal monk attitude.
Right?
Is what's happening.
You know, the pacifist that I typically play. Yeah.
Yep.
Get out your comfort zone. It's good to go.
Oh yeah. No. The problem is I jump into it too easily. That's why I jump into it so much.
I've recognized that today.
So, Jack...
Gosh, revenge. But don't hurt anyone, please.
Exactly.
I'm going to take this domino and knock it over.
Just don't knock any other dominoes over, please.
Right.
That I don't want knocked over.
So... You know, again, he's kind of standing there, and he's got this genuinely concerned look on his face that it's almost like he's about to lose some friends. And he just goes, as you know, I'll give you a call when I need you, but I just need to know that you guys are going to be there. I mean, after what we've been through initially, I don't, you know, I'm sorry. I guess you guys are the only ones that I trust with my life because you've proven that. That we were gonna that we had each other's best interests in mind, getting out of that prison.
No, man.
It is true. And that is why I trust you. But these rebels, they don't have our best interests in mind. They want a peace over all the galaxy, but they don't consider individuals to be valuable unless they have skills.
It reminds me of a song. In with the new boss, same as the old boss.
You know, I'm not wise beyond my years. I can't tell you if they're any better. All I can do is hope that they're better, and I know that they want to give every species a voice again. Bring the Senate back.
Sure.
And even if it's just that, and we get into political debate after debate after debate, at least people still had a say. Now they just get drug out of their house.
I don't disagree, but I also don't have to trust them with every molecule of my life.
And I want to end the embargo. The blockade.
Yes, he is very concerned about the shellfish.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, the parts
not to be shellfish, but...
And maybe in the future you guys can help me here, but the parts that I haven't figured out yet is, once we do get him, how do we get him off planet?
We tie him to a rocket.
This is good.
It work. I can build rocket.
Perhaps we don't get him off planet.
Do you want him off in one piece?
Perhaps.
That's the way he's got to sign.
Perhaps we don't get him off planet. Perhaps we make them think we get him off planet.
Ooh. A double switch.
Okay.
Don't know what that means, but it sounds important.
But don't we have to get him where he could meet up with the leaders of the rebellion to sign? Because they can't get on planet?
That is a problem.
With all of the science fiction we are playing with, they do have to be in person directly.
We use space magic.
Why
Well,
does he have to sign a
unfortunately,
treaty
our
with...
holo projectors are very, very crappy, and they don't have a very good image, so it's
Now-
not a great historical record.
Now, if his first act is to call an armistice over Coruscant to get the soldiers in the blockade to back down, then they could land.
But they're not listening to him here on Coruscant. It's for the rest
And
of the fleet.
And if he broadcasts out to other Imperial troops, as you have said, across the galaxy, and instructs them that a coup has been put in place on Coruscant, and that the military on Coruscant is beginning to take over, would not those Imperial forces come and break the blockade for us?
Not if they did not like what was going on to begin with, and then they might contact the forces here and find out.
In my experience, Imperial
Because-
troops are loyal to whoever is in command to a fort.
Yes, and what I've heard and seen, that doesn't include people like us. Aliens, they tend to not listen to as much as they do people like their own kind.
I mean, it seems like it would be easier if we just had some kind of smuggler or blockade runner.
I see.
Now, hey, time's out real quick.
Uh-huh.
Because
Hold on.
I'm about to be ready to bring in a little bit of lore, and I don't know if it's existent in your world.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want to posit to him is that we contact directly the Grand Admiral of the Empire, who is an alien, who
Grand Admiral Thrawn?
exactly, that's exactly the person I'm thinking of.
Because
Yeah.
I know him personally. He used to eat at our restaurant.
Well, the thing is
Well,
with Thrawn during this timeline, he is actually trying to round up those remnant forces. It's not that he has command over those forces yet. Each of those fleets were all independent fleets, whereas Grand Admiral Thrawn was the primary flagship and primary
Right.
combat group, not just
But
sector
yes,
control.
yes. But if he flew into Coruscant, would he not have control over the Navy here? At that point?
It depends on if they're listening or not.
Well,
If they're all vying for power,
listen, y'all are all like, it depends on if this happens. Well, so does your plan.
oh, I know it does.
Your plan depends on everything too.
So, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing is I'll say this: you can go back and forth any way that you want to go back and forth. I know where I was originally trying to go, but I am completely open to if things change.
Well, Percy's involved, so
Well, he's like, how do we get him off planet? Well, how do we get him off planet? It'd be much easier if we brought something else to the planet.
well, we know
I
the
don't know. I already
Cupcake
brought Tony
King,
Cupcake to the planet.
right? Tony Cupcake.
Where do
Could
you think I'm
possibly get
going
him
when this
off planet.
conversation's over?
Oh, you going to see Tony? Well, I could go see Tony.
I didn't say that in character.
No.
We're still in the metagame in the timeout right
All
now.
right. So are we done
Okay.
timing out?
So,
Yeah. So I know you worry about these human leaders, but there is a non-human imperial admiral that I think could be persuaded to assist. You have heard of this man named Thrawn?
no.
He is from beyond, supposedly from beyond the galaxy.
Really?
He is Chiss.
Chiss? Like the little board game?
I don't think they have that in Star Wars.
Space Chiss. 3D chess? That's not Star Wars?
Nope. Sure ain't.
All right. No, well,
I would collect Masumada and have him send a message to the Grand Admiral and have him come break the blockade. I think the Grand Admiral would listen.
But you think we can smuggle him off planet, too?
No.
No.
I think we can break-
Jack thinks he can smuggle him off planet.
I think Jack was asking us what our plan would be,
Well,
how
I
to
think it would
smuggle him
probably
off
be
planet.
well. I don't know how an admiral's going to think other than maybe if he gets an order to come back and take over.
You mean from the second in command from the Empire,
Well,
perhaps?
yes, but if he gets that order, maybe he'll come back. I don't know. I can't tell you what he'll do.
Perhaps we break this guy out, and then we figure out what we need to do because of where the dominoes are falling. He might have an idea if
Yes.
he wants to.
I don't
help.
think that breaking out the leader of the Empire, or really at footnote point, kidnapping the current Emperor, as it would really truly be, I don't think that we can do that without having a second part to the plan already in place, Moringa.
See,
If he is captured, that gives them every reason to rain missiles down on top of our heads and just say that he was killed by accident.
There are probably many that wish him to be. That is why he's in prison.
That is the whole point
See,
of this conversation.
and-
Yes.
that was why my dad's plan involved trying to get him off planet right after we get him from the EMP blast. Why all the
And so-
communications are down.
And so we send some sort of signal, a tracking device that looks like it is attached to a small vessel, and we find a way to shoot it past the blockade.
What is this tracking device for?
To make them think he has gone off world.
So we assume he's got a tracking device on him, and we.
No, we have to create this. This is the diversion. We have to create it.
And somehow we make them think that this is the tracking.
I mean,
this is why do we tie it to
The only
him?
thing
How
that
do
I
they
know
tie it
right
to him?
now, the only thing that I know right now that's getting off planet are prison ships. The prisons are overcrowded.
Where are prison ships going?
I don't know, Imperial prisons, I guess. Hopefully, they're not taking them out into space and blasting people out the air locks.
That is what I had assumed.
I wouldn't surprise me.
They were so ready to kill us inside of our prison. And we were children barely involved in an uprising.
Okay. So let us figure plan and do something. We're talking in circles. So your goal is to make diversion and get Masamoto out. You have idea how we can get Masamoto out? I mean, do you have more of a plan than that? Because that ain't much of a plan.
Well, so the only thing that I know is that what we figured is once we pop the EMP, we can go in through the air ducts again, and we can sneak through the Imperial Palace to where we need to be. And once we get a hold of him, we have a couple choices. We can go the obvious route, which is we call for backup. They come in blasting everything that they can, and then we have a vehicle come and sneak and grab us like they did at the prison, or we try and sneak him out through the pipeworks underneath the Imperial Palace.
A lot of that will depend on whether he's amenable to that.
We are kidnapping an emperor. He will not be amenable to anything.
Well,
He's in prison.
Are we really kidnapping
He
him,
is
or are we
under-
saving him?
He is under house arrest. And does he know that there is a plot to kill him? I would imagine
I
he is
don't know.
being told that he is there for his protection because of the rebels rampant in Coruscant.
Well, maybe, but if he's issuing orders and those orders aren't being followed, then I'm pretty sure he's smart enough to figure it out that he's being railroaded.
Does he know? Does he know that those orders aren't being followed?
I don't have a phone. I don't have a comm link I can pick up and ask him.
This is my point. There are
Reach-
too many variables.
Why don't Aaron just make yourself invisible and walk right in?
I can only. I don't.
Wait,
turn
what?
invisible.
Jack's
What do
like,
you mean
Jack's like,
invisible?
what? Wait, you, come on, really?
I can't turn invisible.
No. That
I
is
can-
true.
I can mask my presence from a few small handful of individuals.
Well, could you do that for a bunch of people? Or a couple people?
Mm-mm.
Me?
A couple people, yes. But not a mass of soldiers. Yeah, 3 light side points. I go ahead and do it.
His eyes get as big as silver dollars, and he's now looking over at Moringa. Wait, what?
I smack him and come back out of it. Not hard, just like
Hey,
lightly.
how did you do that?
There is a reason that Antennas took a liking to me.
Well, I remember
He's
we
his
woke
pet.
up and you were floating.
This is an extension of that.
And he lifted a commander into the sky and dropped him.
That I did.
Which I still have to talk to you about. That was not cool.
You can talk to me all you want, but it will not change what happened, and it will not change my mind from doing it again. If I am being fired at, I will not rest until I am safe.
Look, I have some details that I need to figure out, and we need to plan on how to make it happen. But until then, I won't be ready to move forward. So, it sounded like you guys had things that you had to do, and that's why you were getting out of here. So, I just need
How
to know
quickly
when
can you? How quickly can you have the plan in place?
it depends on how much intel the rest of this rebel cell can get us.
Quick aside again. How much time until it was 3 days until my mom's prison transport leaves the planet?
I thought it was 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks?
I thought it was 2
couldn't-
weeks.
That's what I'm asking. I couldn't remember. 3 days seemed like the thing sticking in my head, but that may be because Easter is this weekend.
I was
don't
going to
know.
say, it could be Easter.
Right?
So I don't know. So 2 weeks, okay. In 2 weeks, I must either be rescuing someone from a prison transport or on that transport with them. Can you get the information by then?
There's no guarantees, but I don't know if he's going to make it 2 weeks, so they better get the information quick.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I still have to find out where this Hut's girlfriend is being held, and
Why do we need a Hut's girlfriend?
because he has an EMP. Think about it. If we shut down everything, no communication, no nothing, and then Moringa can make a whole lot of distractions, explosions in other places, things going on like that, and then you can sneak in the way that you just showed me you could.
It only works for moments, and it is caught by every camera.
But if the electronics are down, what cameras are working?
He makes point.
It's true.
I don't know, but I still got to figure out. No matter what, worst case scenario. What if we have to get a signal off planet? We've got to be able to get it past the blockade, or and not be tracked when we do it, or we have to get him off planet, which means we need a smuggler. And right now, I think all the smugglers have left.
I know one. Tony Cupcake.
He starts laughing and goes, No, seriously, I need a smuggler. I don't need a cupcake vendor, I need a smuggler.
Why do you need a smuggler?
To smuggle Mosamoto.
I thought we were taking a prison transport.
Jack looks confused. He goes, No, wait. Prisoners are being pulled off in a prisoner transport. Masameda's under house arrest. I don't think he's ever going to be put on there. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be put on a prisoner
I
transport.
think
What about your mom?
I misunderstood what you said earlier entirely, because you said the only ships making it safely off planet are prison transports. So I assumed you wanted us to put Masamada on a prison transport to make it off planet.
God, no. I don't want to put him on a transport with a whole bunch of Imperial stormtroopers.
Don't you think it would be easier to take over a transport than it is to take over Coruscant?
A prisoner ship? At least
I
here I
don't
can
know.
hide. In a ship, we might have problems.
Oh, you're small.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well,
Obviously, I
let's
misunderstood entirely what it was you were saying.
yeah. Let
So,
us let him do his thing,
It's a Tony
and we go
Cupcake
do
all over
ours,
again.
and we will meet up when he contacts us.
because look, I'm serious though. I don't need a cupcake vendor.
Yes, you do.
You have not tasted his cupcakes.
This is true.
Man, they are the best, man.
Well,
They
I
are
could
so
use
good.
a cupcake right now, but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do with a person.
They are so good. They are out of this world.
If
I'm
we
not
just
talking
passed
about
out
frosting a
cupcakes to
person.
all the Imperial stormtroopers, boom.
The only well, are bounty hunters being allowed to come on enough world
No.
with bounties that they have collected for the Empire?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, they do hire them, so I just haven't seen any.
If we could get enough money, we could perhaps hire one to freeze Mr. Amata in
You're always
carbonite.
looking to get money.
No, not for myself. Listen, since we're going to spitball this until we're blue in the face, I might as well bring in the option.
Bring in money.
Putting him in carbonite and taking him off world that way.
That's true. It could happen.
Yeah.
And then he can't even fight us. He can't talk, he can't argue, he can't do anything.
Well, we need to put all these.
And I think we know a bounty hunter who might be very angry at us.
The bounty hunter.
Do you mean the guy we got, the pirate that we helped get out of the prison?
Yeah, I think he probably has some forged bounty credentials. Or he would know how to get them.
I'm up for options. If it's an option, I don't know. We'll have to figure out the rest of that plan.
You knew him better than us. So if it's an option, you would be the one to find out. Most of these options we've come up with are beyond our ability to find out.
Because we are children, and I don't know why we're being trusted with this.
Because we are
You're
children
being
and we're not
trusted
on the
with this
grid.
because you're the only people that I trust.
Yeah. Let's let him do his. Aaron, let's let him do his thing. I will help you with whatever you have going on right now. And then when we meet him, we can.
Well, the thing
See
I
what
had
he's
going
got.
on was saving my mom. I thought it was in 3 days.
You
I
never
want to
know how
help
long it's
save
going
your
to take to
mom.
do what. So, and when you're going to get called to do whatever else. So,
No, I think the two strongest leads for getting him off planet are Tony Cupcake, maybe, and the pirate that we double crossed.
definitely 2 ships.
Those are the two that seem most promising, but also, I don't think it's gonna happen.
All right. So, almost, some banter keeps going back and forth for a while with you guys, and Captain Pike kind of knocks on the door, walks back in, looks
Why
at
does he have to be Captain Pike?
Captain Pike.
He should at least be rolling around in a little chair, I mean,
Nah.
just his upper body.
So then he walks back in, looks at Jack, and kind of goes, "So did you pitch it to him? How did they take it?" It's kind of scanning back and forth over at you guys.
Well, we know the objectives. There is no plan. There's nothing set in stone. I think we must talk about this for another 45 minutes.
I'm thinking.
Well, see, but we're supposed to be more action, less talk.
Yes.
That's how Star Wars works.
Yes.
Yes, and
So
then
let
our
us-
GM gave us too many choices.
I know, I get it. So
Well-
with that, Pike looks back over at you guys and says, "So I'll tell you what. Had an interesting conversation with Bronson down in the hangar just a few minutes ago. Seems that you brought back a very interesting little trinket there to mount on a speeder for us.
Yeah.
Help
that
out our
killed
cause."
Dewey.
right now I don't have anything that's its equivalent of firepower, but we need to rebuild this trust. So that speeder is yours to use as long as you need it.
We are not pilots.
I was kind of starting to have a little fun there.
Okay, by all means.
I'll have to do some work, but
It's unregistered. Everything's clean and clear on it.
and it's got the disruptor on it.
Yes, it does. It
Oh
has
my
a little bit of
gosh.
defensive firepower now. I mean, granted, you got to be close, but it's better than
I
what
don't want him to get that close. I want something to reach out and touch somebody. But maybe we can do something about that.
Also, I think Marengo would prefer to have 2 stun blasters mounted to it.
He's not wrong.
Well, we haven't had a chance to get over to those caches that you guys reported back to us, so
Well, let's go.
I'm wondering if maybe they're setups at this point, or we need to stake them out to make sure that the Black Sun's not headed there fast, or... I mean, that's their lifeblood for what they've got here on planet.
Yeah, once they figure out we've hacked their system.
Well, I think they know.
Yeah, man. They might.
So,
Okay.
you guys, feel free, take the speeder. Just understand, you may get a call on a comm here or there, and you don't have to answer for me, but if Jack calls, it's in regards to what you talked about. When you are ready to come back, if you decide that you think that we're just enough cause for you, and the ends do justify the means, then we'll be happy to have you back. We're not going to make you stay.
When Jack calls, we will respond. Or I will. I can't speak for Marengo.
I'm good. I'm okay with that.
And Jack kind of cuts a smile back your way. The same kind of smile. It was kind of that mischievous one you guys saw when he was trying to figure out how to get out of prison and getting the crap kicked out of him. And with that, that is where we're going to call it an episode. So guys, thank you for sticking around, and we were going to take a quick break and come back here shortly and have another episode, maybe about another 5 minutes. So if you're on the stream, we'll see you back in a few minutes. If not, then keep on adventuring.
See you later.
Wait a minute. That's not what it's like to work here. That recruiting video's just a hunk of shit.
Welcome back to Tabletop Nerdcast. This is Mike, and I have with me Percy, and I have Rick. Percy is playing Aaron in our Star Wars campaign, as well as Rick is playing Moringa. So, guys, if you're new here, please give us a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy tabletop live role-playing content. This is our Star Wars Age of Rebellion campaign called Galactic Youth. And for those of you that may be affected with COVID-19, you're in our thoughts and our prayers. And without any further ado, last time on Star Wars Galactic Youth. Percy? You not ready?
There are too many plans.
Rick, it's your turn.
I'm ready for a gunfight.
Okay,
But
so
not really.
ready for
but
a
only
gunfight, but it's Nerf.
But only a gunfight with pillows. Lots and lots of pillows.
So Pike just lets you guys know that you're welcome to take that speeder, and that is your speeder if you so choose, and that you are welcome back at any point in time. He is willing to prove to you guys that he is not wanting to be the Empire. You're free to come and go as you would like. So with that, he turns and he walks back out of the office, leaving you, Moringa, and Aaron with Jack.
Jack? I think we're gonna go. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but I'm ready to do something. And it seems like you have some things you need to get ready.
I do, but if you guys find yourselves in trouble or you need me, you know where to call.
Yeah. Do we? What's your phone number?
My comlink number is 2.
211. Okay.
No, just dial 411 for information.
I see.
All right.
I can do that. Well, Aaron, let's go get a drink.
A drink.
A drink.
Okay.
So we've got. So I guess there's a bar near here.
That's Coruscant. There's a bar everywhere.
There's a bar everywhere. So
Let's see. Let me get my notes out because we're about to make another established place on Coruscant.
what is the drinking age? Are we too young to drink?
This is Star Wars. They'll serve something.
Okay.
But anyway, so you guys head on out, and obviously you see Bronson sitting there, and he's sitting next to the speeder, and he looks at you and he says, "So did my good word with the captain work for you?"
Yeah, man. Is that what you were doing? You got us the speeder?
Well, he asked me, what kind of favor, I asked you to do, and he kind of figured that. I don't know what he figured, but he came back and he said, you guys were going to be taking this thing.
Oh, have you got our little cannon working?
Oh, I sure do. Now, I tell you what, I was able to double the range on this thing. So I put a little focusing disc on the front of it, and I don't think they were very happy with all those holes in the wall over there, but it works.
All right. That's good.
Oh, and I got it wired into the vehicle cell, so it'll fire, but if you fire it too many times, you might, I don't know, it may overheat the speeder.
So we don't have to reload it each time.
No. We're able to work that out for you.
You are a magic man.
Well, I do what I can. Now, if you find any more big guns, just bring them back my direction, and we'll work on fixing up some of this other stuff around here.
I would. Yeah, let's see what we can do.
All right. So he kind of tosses you this like little key fob or whatever, this electronic key fob for the speeder, and says, "It's all yours, gentlemen. Feel free."
All right. So you want to take it for a spin?
Where do you want to go?
Where's a good bar around here?
Bar.
I think I heard of Gutters.
Gutters?
Oh yeah, that's just about 5 blocks down, and he points a direction. Gutters.
All right.
It's the Gutters.
All right.
So we jump. So can we take her now?
He already handed you the key fob.
All right.
It is our speeder.
Let us go. So I jump in and I fire that mother up.
Yeah, I'm
And,
assuming Aaron's going with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So it's uneventful trip down to Gutters. You guys pull up, and it just looks like a run-down, just like there's neon there, but it's like half hanging down. So the Gutters looks like it comes over top, and then got gutters coming down the other side of it, and half of it's out.
Gutters gut.
There's it looks like, if you didn't know any better, duct tape on the window, trying to hold it together because of it being
Space
smashed.
duct tape.
Yeah. So.
This looks
called
like the
Stuck
place. Stuck tape.
That's not it.
That's not it. That doesn't work right.
That was not. No.
So, all right.
Duct tape. All right. Anyway,
All right. So we'll go in, saunter up to the bar, look around. Is it mostly humans or aliens or?
it's all
Mix.
kinds. It is a mix. But behind the counter, there is a strange alien that you guys maybe have never seen before. It's got 6 arms, 2 legs, and you think they're all intertwined with each other. Kind of looks arachnid.
Okay. Can I roll like a lore check to
You
see?
sure can, but I have not named this thing, so
All right. What's the difficulty for me to name this thing?
hard.
I'd like to spend a destiny point.
Sure, I'll give you a destiny point.
I do succeed with 1 threat.
Okay. So, what would you like to name this thing?
You spent a destiny point to name it.
I did. I probably could have done that without rolling. Oh man. What do I want to name this thing? It was a funny joke until I won.
Anyway, I'll let you stew on it for a minute. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, your threat is a little bit of a strain because this thing obviously sees you staring at it, and it kind of just doesn't like.
I
the
don't
fact that
like
you're-
you.
The fact that it's staring back, you're staring at it. It's like, what? Every time somebody comes in, we have nothing but aliens all over the place, and every time somebody comes in here, they want to stare at me like I'm the oddball freak. What the hell do you kids want?
Man,
I
I just want to
apologize. It has been quite some time since I've seen, and in fact, I've never seen a Starasian living.
So
My
we all have
parents-
to write that down now. Okay.
You
My
know, that's
parents
because the
briefly.
Empire came to our planet, damn near wiped us out by dropping gas everywhere.
I see. My condolences for your people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You must hate the Empire.
I just happen to be here, so I had to do something. I couldn't go home,
What
You have no
if?
home.
and I figured with all these arms and legs, I might as well serve drinks. And you just see him passing stuff down the bar.
Well, I'm gonna get a drink and find a table.
So he hands you some and it's just this crazy concoction alcohol, and just sets it down in front of you and says, "Here's the house specialty." And
I want one of those.
he hands Percy, or he hands AA Ron water.
Why? No, I do not want the water. He is not Olan. I am not Olan. Perhaps one of those blue drinks with the little frogs in them.
You want blue milk?
No. The blue.
Oh, okay. This thingy, and he pulls out some dry ice chunk with one of his clawed hands and drops it down into some big glass, and he just starts pouring something over it. Starts bubbling up and fizzing, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I don't have any frogs, but here's an umbrella," and throws this umbrella that you can tell has been used 3 times over. Hands it to you.
Well, when you expressed your hate for the Empire, I wanted to help you, but you are kind of rude.
I only give back what I got, Mr. All Eyes.
All eyes. What are you talking about?
All you did was stare at me since the moment you walked in with that slack-jawed yokeled look on your face that you got right now.
I wasn't slack-jawed. This guy. You are very mean for
I got
no
more
reason.
important things to do. He turns and walks away, still slinging drinks all over
Hey,
the place.
Ron, ignore him. Yeah. He said he gets stared at a lot. You did stare at him.
Let's sit at the bar.
Oh my gosh, really? You gonna lift him up too?
No.
No.
I rolled 3 light side points. Every time he picks something up, I pull it out of his hand.
All right.
And I do have the fine, not the one where I can pull triggers and stuff, but I can pull things out of people's grasp.
All right.
Move
Strength upgrade.
No, it's a control upgrade. It's just not the one that I can shoot guns with.
All right.
That's
no
next.
problem. I don't have that particular list pulled up right now, but I'll trust you on that.
Yeah. Yep.
So almost on cue at different times, he goes to pick stuff up, stuff starts flying out of his hands. He's getting a little bit more frustrated. He doesn't know what's going on. He's got some Gamorrean that's standing there almost like a barback with him, just trying to pick stuff up off the floor. He's you see stuff being just thrown into a sink of dirty water, pulled back out, shaked, and thrown back up on the bar. It's a dive. It is an absolute dive.
And so basically, how I'm doing is every time I take a drink, I use that motion to toss something out of his grasp.
All right, fair enough.
All right. So Moringa,
Are you
why
having
did
fun?
you want to?
Are you doing this?
What are you talking about? Of course not. I can't do this. Moringa, I hate to tell you this, but not everybody likes people who can do what I do. You shouldn't be so loud in public about it.
Well, you're being rather dramatic in public about it. If you're
I am
concerned.
not. I am drinking my drink, and I flick one up.
And on cue, glass goes flying over his shoulder into the mirror that's behind the bar.
I don't know what you're talking about. He has so many arms. He just doesn't know how to use them. He's very clumsy.
Do we want to talk here, right here at the
This
bar?
was. Oh, perhaps not. Let us move on.
Okay, let's go find a table. So, we find a table.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. Now, they're not clean, but there's plenty of them.
Right.
Now, you had mentioned your mother, and that you wanted to go save your mother.
I've had second thoughts. If what Jack says is true, and we can get Masamata to dissolve the Empire and reinstate the Senate, then my mother should be freed legally instead of having to go into hiding.
I see. That actually makes sense. That's unusual for you, but that actually makes sense.
Everything I say makes sense, just because you don't like it.
Maybe so. Okay, so I don't want to sit here. I'm tired of sitting. I want to do something. Now,
What do you want to do?
I don't know.
We have
I
a
want to-
speeder.
We have a speeder. We can go joyride. We can blow something up, but that's,
This sounds like something I would like, yes.
yeah. But we discovered some caches of weapons. And I'm
We
thinking
did?
that maybe we could go relieve the Black Sun of some of those weapons.
I do like the way you think.
You know, I was thinking to go free your mother, but I don't know. Maybe we don't need to. But we still have to break that Hut's girlfriend out of prison.
Well,
So,
we will wait for Jack on that one, I think.
yeah,
So,
because I have
can
no
both
idea.
of you make me an average perception check, please?
No. I refuse to play your little games. I succeeded a lot.
You
4
succeeded a lot.
successes.
Okay.
Yep.
Any threats? Advantage?
Nope. Nope, none at all.
One advantage.
Okay. So, Moringa is feeling pretty good about this conversation, and I mean, you happen to manage to find, one of those very few spots at this little table that, like, seems to have been rubbed clean. You don't know if it's because the previous patron had fallen asleep, and when they pulled him out, it drug all the dust and dirt with it. So, you're feeling pretty comfortable there, as opposed to like not wanting to touch anything. But Aaron, you are facing Moringa and just over his shoulder, you kind of see you see a figure that's sitting in a table or booth that's pretty close to you guys, that you kind of catch in this whole as Moringa's talking, he kind of cants his head a little bit and it's kind of turning his ear back towards you guys a little bit.
So, so if we decide to go get some of these caches, what do you mean?
We have a friend. Well, most likely an enemy. Do not turn around.
Okay.
I think we should continue our conversation behind the building. I don't think that this is a friendly environment.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, deciding where you want to go for lunch is pretty important stuff.
So I get up and is there a back door or do I need to walk around?
Well, you don't know if there's a back door. The only door that there is that looks like it goes towards the back goes back towards what you could assume would be the kitchen. Now, off to the
Okay,
side,
so-
there's a little refresher area, but
I think I'll just walk out of the front door and try to walk around to the. Is there like an alley or something?
oh yeah, of course, within a couple of doors, yes.
Yeah. So that's where I'll go.
All right, and I'm assuming Moringa, you're going with him.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys get up and you leave and you walk out, and you go around the corner and you find a little bit of section of an alleyway, and you don't appear to see anybody following you.
Okay. So
Okay.
what made you decide? Man, what was it about that we needed to come out here?
You stand right there. I'm going to sit behind this trash can while we continue. I got the sense that one of the patrons behind you were listening.
Oh.
He kind of cocked his head toward you when you began speaking of the caches.
Maybe he just liked my accent.
Yes, but perhaps when we are talking of raiding Black Sun caches, we probably should be wary.
That would probably be true. I'm not used to all this clandestine stuff.
Obviously.
So, anyway,
The guy
so-
who plays a rogue more than any other class in anything ever is not used to clandestine.
I'd like to see if there's a trap.
Well, that's a different character.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, it's the character. Yep.
To a degree, yes.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So,
Where is the cache that you would like to
I
infiltrate?
don't know where it is. Do we know locations? Did
You
we
guys
get that
had
information?
you guys had the data, so I'm just gonna say that you know at least where a couple of them are.
Now, my question is, do we get help doing this, or do we do this on our own?
Who would help?
Well, I don't know if we mention it to Jack, or maybe if we have enough intel, we want to try it on our own.
Do we have enough intel? We know
That's
where
the
they
question.
at least were. Perhaps we stake it out first.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's twice you've had good ideas here recently.
I always have good ideas.
Some of them are more complicated than others.
I still think the best plan for us is to get Thrawn to come to this planet and break the blockade. But it seems I've been overruled for the time.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know this Thrawn, but, Okay, so I don't know that we should take our speeder. So what information can I gather? I'm going to...
Where is the nearest cache?
So the nearest cache is going to be outside of Imperial City proper. And we're talking hundreds of kilometers outside the perimeter. Probably this would be, into one of the more industrialized zones that's no longer really being populated. So it's just nothing but warehouses and piping and things like that.
So how long...
So we are going to take the speeder.
Oh, y'all could walk. It just may not... Still walking. Walking more.
Walking. Let's have a nice conversation while we walk.
Oh, dear God, no. A speeder stops off and picks you up. No.
Hey, we'll hitchhike. Is that legal?
Sure, it's all legal.
So, what do you say? Let's go
stake it out.
Let's go check it out. So I'm going to I'd like to get as much information as I can. So I'm thinking we go back by the garage and use a computer. They would have better computers there that we could get more information, or could we get what we need out of the speeder?
What information are you looking for?
I'm looking for anything that it can tell us about this particular cache. If it's just a street number, or does it have...
The only thing you had was basically coordinates.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's go. Yeah. Let's do something.
All right. So you guys begin this long trek.
We need more action. Let's go sit in a car and watch a thing.
Y'all picked it. Anyway, I tried to give you more action. No, I'm joking. But
That's what she said.
Yep.
But Percy's a 1 minute wonder. Anyway, so you guys hop into the speeder, and you end up having to take the tunnels all the way back up to Coruscant proper, the top of the top level, in order to be able to fly out past the city proper. So this takes probably a few hours worth of time and just normal journey. And once you get to the end of the city, there's kind of this giant wall that's sitting there, and you can see that it's separating the different boroughs. You've passed from the Imperial Palace, zone, the edges of that over into, one of the market districts, and then out into like the financial districts, and then pushed back out into what's commonly referred to as the pipeworks. So what makes Coruscant a large cityscape over the entire planet, or an necropolis, is that everything is all connected by these just giant pipework sections as they reach out to other major metropolitan areas. So as you guys are heading out, the sun begins to set, and you guys are just casually flying out there. And the coordinates that are sitting there, again, they're like hundreds of kilometers outside of the city proper. So a few hours has passed by and sunset, and you guys are starting to come up on where the coordinates would be located. All you're seeing at this point, it looks just like it would look like a metallic barren desert, is what you would see. There's really not any skyscrapers or silhouettes of buildings or things like that. You can make out different pads for where cargo ships or repair ships, things like that, would come out. Maintenance craft would come out and have to do work on the pipes and on these different utilities that would be pushing through the planet.
So it's basically we're like standing out like sore thumbs flying around out here.
So from a you wouldn't necessarily you're standing out, but there isn't like crazy traffic, okay? But it's not completely barren either. It's not like there's a bunch of just vehicle highways that you would see sitting over the Imperial city, okay? But occasionally you'll see some larger vehicles and some smaller vehicles, and they'll just off in the distance, they all go in their own different directions. You see a couple, landed at a couple of facilities and things like that, but not anything that's huge. So I'm not going to say that you stand out like a sore thumb, especially not when it starts to get dark. You'll see things off in the distance with flashing lights and stuff going on.
Okay. So we're gonna kind of do our best to blend in. And
I don't know, fly casual.
Yeah. And see where the coordinates leave us.
Yep.
And if we need to stop some ways away and move up a little closer on foot, we might do that.
That's up to you. You tell me what you guys are doing.
I think let's get close to where the coordinates are. Is it a building?
Well, what it would look like is it's just a small set of warehouses that are sitting right next to some of the pipelines.
Gotcha. So which one of those warehouses looks suspicious?
I don't know how to describe what would look suspicious to you.
Suspicious.
Did I or do any of them have more guards than others?
Do any of them have neon signs reading "cachet" flashing on top of them?
Do any of them have
no.
A guard on top of the building where others don't? Is there anything that stands out about any of these buildings at all?
You guys can give me some perception checks. And see
That's
if you
what
do
I was
see
looking
some
for,
stuff.
DM.
Uh-huh.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty in this case is how close are you guys getting?
Close enough that our eyes get wet?
Where we get a good visual of the building.
Range-wise, what would you say? Extreme, long, medium?
Long. We'll start at long.
Okay.
That's
Then
pretty close. I mean, that's only like 20 yards away.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, well then I guess we better start at extreme.
All right, so you guys are a good couple hundred meters out. Okay, the edge of extreme. You guys are a good couple hundred meters out.
The edge of extreme. That should have been the name of our podcast.
Yes.
The edge of sanity. But we won't go there. So you guys are a good couple hundred meters out, and it's dark, and you're not seeing anything lit up on top of any of these buildings. There's a couple of little, a couple of lights that maybe sit over some doors, but from this distance, you guys would have to give me a hard perception check to see if you see anything different than that.
Nope. Sure don't.
Nope. With 2 threat.
Same.
Threat. So, Moringa, I'm going to give you strain, And the reason is that as you're sitting there trying to stress your eyes to try and pick out, silhouettes in the dark, you're really not paying attention to how close to the ground that you were flying at that point in time. And at the very last second, you kind of jerk the vehicle back up, a few feet higher so that it's a little bit more stable. Kind of freak yourself out. Kind of like that whole you start to doze off in a car and concept. Yeah.
Yes. Whoa.
So, would you guys like to continue to get closer, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, pull us in closer.
You
I
sure?
cannot see a thing.
All right.
Yeah, just to be very careful. I don't want to hit the ground.
All right. Okay? So I will pull it a little closer.
All right. So, are we talking medium here? Long? What?
Yeah, medium.
All right. As you guys pull up a little closer, go ahead and give me an easy check.
That should be easy. And it kind of was easy.
Well, how did we do on our easy check?
I succeeded.
No
threat or
advantage.
Say again?
I had no threat or advantage, but I succeeded.
I had 2 advantage, no success.
Moringa is still kind of freaked out a little bit here, but he finally got the vehicle back under control. And, he's like, okay, all right. So that's what this thing's touchy. You're starting to feel out what the vehicle is like, this particular speeder's like. But, Aaron, you notice that there are droids that are out and about. Just various types of droids. Nothing that you see that would be weaponized that you've been able to make out. But you do see that there are 6 different small landing pads that are dotted around the property. There's a couple that are on top of some buildings, and a couple small ones that are on top of some buildings, and then there's 2 that are a little bit larger, that they look like they would accept kind of a much bigger shipping vehicle or hauling vehicle. Not quite spaceport size, but a small freighter would be able to get in and out of them.
Is that one building?
It's a couple of different buildings. There's the main building that has 2 pads on top of it. There's a secondary building that's right behind it that has 2 pads on it on the roof. And then there's the 2 big pads which sit on opposite sides in the middle between both of them.
I wonder if the cache is bigger than we thought. Look at all these landing pads.
Yeah.
Do I see landing pads at other warehouse areas?
On the way over, you've seen a couple. Not in this kind of concentration, but yes.
Could be where they're dropping. They're probably weapon smugglers. And they're probably, loading and unloading to ship off-world. But all we see are droids. We don't see any guards.
Well, droids can carry cameras,
That's true.
and guards can wait inside.
What do you think?
think-
You think this is too big a fish?
No, I think we sit and wait. We watch.
Okay.
Maybe one day, maybe 2,
Dead
maybe
on.
3.
So you guys are going to fly off a little bit in the distance, almost like you were just kind of flying by?
Yeah. We'll find a good space to watch from.
All right. So, Rick, I am going to ask you for a... This is going to be kind of an interesting check.
What, a fly casual?
Pretty much. Give me a average piloting check, or planetary piloting check, please. And I will give you a boost as well.
I was grabbing purple dice instead of green dice.
Well, you could do
It
that.
was
if you want,
really
but that's
bad.
the problem.
That's not what we want.
Oh, man. One success.
One success. All right.
That's all you need.
So you kind of fumble through it, almost like you did when you kind of jerked the speeder back up, right? So it's almost like you kept it kind of shuddering a little bit and kind of flew down a little bit low and then jerked back up and then kind of so almost like you were pretending to be drunk. So we'll go with that, and you see a couple of the droids. They stop and they look up for a minute, but then they continue on after they watch you for a few seconds because you didn't stop or anything, and you fly right on past. So there's a couple of places that you guys could go. You could continue to fly down the pipe works, or you could try and see if you could find something, within a kilometer or so, and try and keep an eye on the facility. What would you guys like to do?
Yeah, let's find something within about a kilometer and see if we can just keep an eye out.
All right, fair enough. There's plenty of access ports and panels and things like that that are sitting on these pipes where, ships and speeders would land to do repair work all the time. So we'll just say that you guys get to about a kilometer out and go ahead and land somewhere right around there.
Okay. And I pull out my macro binoculars. Yes, I do have macro
I
binoculars.
know you do. I was waiting to see if somebody was going to remember that. All right.
And
so
just
what we'll
start
do
watching the place.
What we'll do is I will give you a series of checks. So feel free to take a boost because of your macro binoculars, but give me an average perception check. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of see how many successes you guys get in total. So how many days are you guys wanting to spend doing this? 1, 2,
Maybe as
couple
it
hours.
takes. Long as
Well,
it takes.
All right.
I can't tell you how long it's gonna take.
I was not successful.
Okay.
I had an advantage and a triumph.
But the triumph success is canceled out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, hey, Ron, are you gonna sit in the speeder and just sleep, or are you watching too?
Well, I was gonna put on my visor and try to contact Antinous, but I guess I'll do perception.
No, I mean you got a couple. You got a day, 2 days, whatever length you want.
Yeah, I'll perceive. See what we can figure out. I also don't succeed, but I do have 2 advantage.
Oh goodness. Okay.
We're good at
How do you?
rebels.
Yes, we're good at giving you difficult things to figure out how to rule.
Right.
We're
All
good
right.
at being rebels because
We're teenagers.
yep.
All right. So
Dude, even an adult with these dice would suck it up.
all right. So for your triumph on a perception check, I will say this that you don't see anything coming with any regularity, but you do see over the course of the first day, you see, and it's at random times, 3 different small freighters. One's a Gatroc, one's a YT 1200, one's a YT 1000. Just a couple of different small freighters, and they don't look like they're in very good shape. Maybe not necessarily space-worthy. And they come in and they land in the 2 pads that are sitting in between the 2 buildings in the center. And then they're there for maybe about an hour, and then they lift off and head off, and they are going in different directions.
Are they heading off into space, or are they heading off planetary?
They're heading off planetary as best as you can tell. They're not lifting up and climbing. They're just booking it towards different parts of the planet.
Moringa, it seems like this may be a full bunker situation. 2 fully loaded Black Sun camps. I don't know that we can take this. This is more than a cache. This is a warehouse.
Yeah, man.
Fully operational. 2 ships of that size coming in and going to different directions. They must have outposts closer than we think.
Should we follow this ship?
Oh gosh, no.
Okay. You sure?
Certainly we would. Well, we can try, but I imagine we would get shut down.
Are you guys sticking around? Are you gonna keep watching? What are we doing?
Um,
I don't know. This seems, now that we're kind of seeing the ships interact and we're seeing how big the warehouses are, and Aaron's thinking this is a bigger fish than we can fry.
yeah, you're probably right. Man, I wanted to do something. Oh my gosh, I'm being attacked.
There is a feline involved.
Yes, it is. Excuse me while I let this out.
You can't do that on camera.
Yes.
I'm sure glad he's wearing pants.
Oh, man.
Them aliens, I'm telling you. So, if we're gonna, let's just follow one of these for a little ways
Okay.
and see if we're not take chances.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So, are you guys waiting again throughout the next day to see,
No,
see
we're
if
gonna-
another one shows
well-
up, or?
Yeah,
I think we're gonna. Okay, yeah, we'll wait until the next day.
All right. So I will give you guys another opportunity to roll perception checks again. This time, again, Rick, you get a boost die for your macro.
Now I had 2 advantages left over. Can I use those to add a boost out of mine?
Sure, you can.
Cool.
well, you're gonna love this. I was not successful, but I did roll another triumph.
I got a threat.
You guys suck.
Nothing to give you a whole lot of meat.
No,
What?
nothing at all. All right. So we're gonna play it the way the dice do it.
Well, you know, when it was action filled and things mattered, my even 2 dice were rolling successes against hard and daunting checks.
Yeah, I understand.
But when it gets to like stakeouts, Aaron doesn't have the patience for it.
I guess not.
All right. So Aaron, 2 threats.
Just 1 threat.
Oh, 1 threat.
Yeah, just 1.
I'm gonna say that you fall asleep on watch.
Okay, fine.
So Moringa, you again, you happen to see the same Gitrock come back in, coming from the east, and it comes in and lands again, but it's at a different time than what it was yesterday. But the other 2 freighters don't show up. And that seems to be the only traffic for the day.
Okay. So does it leave or does it stay here?
Well, it's landed and it's getting loaded at this point.
Now, can I film this with the macro binoculars?
I do not believe they have a camera attachment involved in them.
Okay.
Maybe if we flip the destiny point, could they?
Well, you know, yeah, you could, but that would be your last destiny point.
No, it's fine. We're not winning with them or without them.
Right, but if we need to get away, we might need that last destiny point.
Probably true.
So okay. So we're gonna watch it, and then if it leaves, we're gonna attempt to tail it from a distance, not getting too close.
Okay. So sometime, maybe about 30 minutes or so later, you guys see the Gitrock kind of lift off, and it picks up, and instead of flying off towards the east, in which it left yesterday, it turns and starts flying off towards the west.
Okay. Is that back towards the city?
It's not back towards the city. It's almost running parallel. The city is south of you guys. Okay? But that trajectory will take you over the facility, if you'd like to follow it.
Now is our chance.
You want to go over the facility? We haven't seen any traffic go over the facility yet, have we?
Nothing on a
Or-
low level, no.
Could we go around the facility and keep it in our sights?
It's up to you guys. What do you want to try?
Let's try that.
Okay. So this speeder does have a speed rating of 3. So I will let you guys, if you would like to make a planetary piloting check in order to be able to see if you can get it up to speed rating 3.
Okay.
Can I
Very
make
quickly.
a perception check to keep the thing in my sights to perhaps give him boosts?
Oh, if you want to let him focus on the flying and you just say, no, turn left here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind
Can I
of thing.
navigate? What difficulty? So Rick,
Um,
don't roll yet.
I don't. So you would need to, for just watching it, you
Yeah.
see it already. So there's not a
Yeah.
there's not a perception check that you need to make against it to watch it.
Well, so my goal is I want to roll dice so I can get advantages to give him boosts. Because I can't assist him with piloting this thing, right? But if I can navigate and tell him, like, no, go this way, we can kind of...
Right, but
keep
narratively
hidden.
speaking, that gives him a boost already.
Yes, but I can give him more boosts.
No.
By telling him, like, hey, if you go this way, we'll be hidden from the sight of the ship, but we'll still be able to see it in between buildings, like that kind of thing.
Oh, if you want to try and roll some streetwise or skullduggery in order to be able to see how to do that stealth check, then we can go with
Okay.
those to see if you can grant boosts. Because if you're going to try and tell him how to stay out of sight, that's a stealth check.
So what was the difficulty?
From your piloting, average.
Average.
What's the
Okay.
difficulty on mine?
What exactly are you trying to do? Is it trying to be stealthy?
Trying to stay hidden. Yeah, be stealthy.
Okay. So in this particular case, it's not. You're in a kind of wide open space, but there's not a whole lot of buildings to hide behind. I will give you an average with a setback. I mean, you can fly in casual, but it's you can tell them to go different directions, but it is what it is.
I did succeed with one threat.
Okay.
So I get 1 boost.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Okay. Well, now we're doing a little bit better. 2, 3. 4 success.
Nice. Okay, so you're
There we
able to
go.
kind of, with Aaron telling you, okay, you need to turn right. Now, aim down, go 30 degrees down, and he's telling you a bunch of different ways to kind of hide and fly to where it looks like you're zigzagging around, almost like you're inspecting pipes, but still trying to keep this thing close. You're able to kind of kick this speeder up into high gear, and you're able to kind of keep pace with this thing. So it's at a long range from you guys. Again, it is a freighter. It's not a speeder, so it can get out ahead of you pretty significantly if it throttled up. But it doesn't appear to be. It just seems to be making its own lazy way off to that side. So you're able to keep pace with it fairly well. How far or how long you guys want to trail this thing?
Until we...
Till something bad happens.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Until something bad happens.
I mean, we're not
Well-
going to things are going well. I guess it's time to give up. That doesn't make sense.
No, but what I'm saying is, are you going to follow it till, as long as it's in sight, or are you guys
Yes.
going to...
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, as long as it's in sight, if we can find out where it's going, that would be
It's-
great.
It would be hard to follow it if we didn't see it.
Okay. So I'm going to have you guys... So you guys are following it for a while, and you're continuing to head off, with this thing, and it's still at long range. It doesn't seem to be kicking anything up, and you guys are zigzagging across the pipes, and almost like I said, like you're trying to do an inspection. Maybe about 10 or 15 minutes later, it starts to veer off towards the north. And you guys are welcome to try and you see it pick up a little bit of speed, so you're welcome to try and see if you can match it.
Sure.
This is going to be a hard check. Because what you're trying to do is push the speeder past its capabilities.
So this thing is bumping into speed 4.
Yeah. What would be a speeder's kind of speed for?
Okay. I was successful with 2 threat.
All right. So that's going to be 2 system strain because you're really kind of rerouting some power and pushing the speeder a little bit beyond what its capabilities are. But you guys are able to follow it and continue to zigzag around and, stick with it. And again, about another 15 minutes later, you see it take another right turn, and now it's headed back towards the facility, but not directly at it.
Okay. Keep it following.
And it's still holding the same speed, so if you would like to maintain and continue to push your craft, then this will be an average check to maintain it, since you've already got everything rerouted and put up to speed.
All right. 3 success and 1 threat.
All right. Again, you see that engine is really kind of pushing it, and it's starting to kind of wear and tear on this thing. Which, by the way, I know you don't have vehicle stats sitting in front of you. I will tell you, you do have 7 system strain on it. Okay. I don't want you to make decisions when you don't have that kind of information sitting in front of you.
I appreciate that.
But this ship does start to lurch a little bit more. Yeah, it's starting to pick up its acceleration. So it is starting to pull away from you, and this is about as good as high a speed as you can get out of this speeder right now.
Okay.
About the time that you guys begin to lose sight, it is already passed by where the facility would be over to the side of you guys. So it's now heading off in the direction that it came from originally this morning.
Oh. So it was deliberately trying not to look like it was going the same direction as...
That would be a safe assumption, yes.
And that direction... Okay.
Hey, Aaron, give me a perception check as you guys are flying past the facility.
How much?
Average. You guys aren't on top of it, but you're not too far away from it either.
Hey, bud, I don't know how to show this to you, but I not only did I succeed, but I got 2 triumphs.
Okay. I trust you. I trust you. All right.
It's the only decent roll I've had all game. You should trust me.
Well, normally your dice are significantly stronger than that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Genesis dice after this one.
Uh-huh. So, anyway, how many successes did you have?
I wound up with 2 successes.
Okay. So, as you guys are flying by, Aaron, you kind of notice that there's a section of these buildings that the droids aren't coming in or out of. It seems to be almost kind of like a derelict part of the warehouse itself. Now that you've got a different vantage point that's sitting there. And as a matter of fact, what you see is that there are some catwalks that connect this particular building over to that the center main front building, as well as to the rear building itself.
I think I have found a weakness in their structure.
What do you say?
So you said there's a catwalk leading from a different building,
right? So
derelict to the 2 nice buildings.
If I were to show you, so what would happen is you'd have the main building that looks like this, you have the secondary building that's like this, okay, and in between is where those 2 landing pads are at. But
Okay.
there's a small little building that's right here that has a catwalk connecting here and a catwalk connecting down. And you don't see any droids or any activity, no lights, no nothing coming from over on that side.
Okay, so yeah, there is a small building that we did not notice before. Now, was any part of that the triumphs?
Yeah, that's the triumphs. Being able to see that they're connected, that there's no, power running through them, that that there is technically a entry point or a weak point.
So what would my regular perception have seen if I hadn't rolled the triumphs?
Um, ultimately, what you would have seen is that the facility itself, um, all the activity of the droids is centralized into that front building and the rear building itself, and in between the landing pads.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Perhaps I have found a weakness in their structure.
Perhaps. Do you wish to check it out?
Yes, but I think we should park a ways away and walk up to it from behind.
Okay. So I'll turn the craft.
And then make sure we yell surprise.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'll turn the craft, find a spot, zero in on it again with my macro binoculars.
All right. So
Let's
you
see.
guys park maybe again about a kilometer out. Again, it's sitting right in between one of those little landing maintenance hatches that's right between a couple of pipes that you guys are able to kind of climb up the staircase on and get to the top where you can see very easily back over towards the facility. And you're able to see the exact same thing now that you're kind of focusing in that area. Hour or two passes by and you don't see any droids, you don't see any people, you don't see any vehicles coming in and out of that area, nothing.
All right. The game is afoot, man. What do you think?
I think we approach.
God, right.
Is it nighttime?
It's middle of the day at this point.
Oh.
So mid-afternoon. The ship landed in the morning. You guys followed it, saw this a few hours later, so it's about mid-afternoon.
So then I say we wait until the sun goes down and then we go.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
if they're droids, they see us day or night.
Yes, but we are not worried so much about the droids.
How long can you make us invisible?
I can make me unseen by a small handful of people as long as I want.
Oh, but not me.
That is correct. I think. Let me see. After this episode, I will be able to do it to you too.
I'll require more experience.
This,
I
this
must
is
talk to
correct.
antennas.
I see. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we'll wait till dark.
All right. So again, at this point, you guys have not seen any other vehicles. That seemed to be the only one that came in for the day.
Okay.
Now, did we see droids loading, or did we even see anybody loading
The
stuff?
angle and vantage point that you had, you could not see what was happening where they had landed on those pads.
Okay.
But when you're flying by and flying over, you were able to see droids, and in some of the little corridors between some of the buildings, you would see them pass here and there.
Okay.
All right.
right.
So as we approach, how I would like to do it would be like, I want to kind of keep an eye out, and I want Moringa to lead the stealth.
Well,
So like I'm perceiving and making sure we know where everything is, and he's letting me know when to move.
okay.
Does that make sense? Is that possible, or do we need to both stealth?
You would both.
You
need
can
to
make
stealth.
yourself
Now,
invisible.
Now here's the thing: you would both need to stealth. However, if you're letting Moringa like in a cover bounce,
Yeah, exactly.
a bounding Overwatch, then what you would do is you would let Moringa go up to a certain point. He would make his stealth check to get there, and then when he tells you it's clear, you'd be able to make your stealth check with a boost.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that.
All right. So, what difficulty do you want to give me on this?
All right. So the approach that you guys are coming for is coming from from a side that is kind of closed down. So I'll tell you that the first one's going to be a easy check. But in order to be able to potentially give you guys back some points here, I am going to upgrade
that's
it.
why you're doing it. Okay.
I am going to upgrade it.
Otherwise, there's no possibility for despair.
Correct.
All right. Well, I did get one threat and a triumph.
Did you succeed?
Yes, this time I did
Okay.
succeed with a triumph.
Percy is very, very concerned. So, I will give you a choice as a player. Would you like to give Percy the Triumph as a full upgrade?
Ooh.
Or would you like to have a Triumph effect for your stealth itself?
Oh yeah, because this is about stealth. Um. Okay. What I would like to make is that my triumph is that I found a spot to where we could hide, that we could hide with a pretty good vantage point and good cover of the loading pad,
Okay, let's see.
almost like a blind.
All right. So, I have a map, and I'm not going to share that map with you right now. And that doesn't necessarily make sense for what you've got going on right here. But what I will say is, if you would like to be able to use the Triumph in this capacity, as part of this building is, kind of broken down or run down, and you have found a way that without having to go too far forward, that you can actually gain access to this shut down building, like a broken fold out window that's probably just about 1.5 meters, 2 meters off the ground.
Okay, so he'll have to roll his normal stealth to get up there, but once we get up there, we should be able to get into the building.
Yes, and he still gets a boost because you're telling him when to go and where to go.
Okay.
That's I'm leaving that up to you. Would you like to use it that way, or would you like to give him a full upgrade?
I don't even know how good a stealth he has.
It's not good. I have 2 agility, and our spy is dead.
And you have no stealth, probably.
That is what I meant by our spy is dead.
Oh.
But I'll be fine. I mean, it's only an easy check. Should be good.
Okay, let's go.
I'm fine. Not great. I succeeded with a threat.
All right. So you kind of stumble through this alleyway a little bit. There's some trash and some debris and things like that are around. So you're kind of sweating bullets. So it's a strain, but you're kind of sweating bullets on the fact that you think that maybe you're making too much noise trying to get up to him. But you finally get over to him really quickly, and it's like, you're looking down at your shoes like, I knew I shouldn't have worn the ones with the wooden soles.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sneak.
I shouldn't have worn my light up sneakers today. Dang
Right.
it.
So you get up to that point, and Moringa's able to kind of point just up above him, and you see what looks like a broken window that, on the side of the building. It's sitting here like this, and it's just kind of sticking out and protruding just a little bit, and you can tell that the whole thing is supposed to just hinge up.
Okay.
Let's go in there. See if we can get a better view.
Is this the building we're trying to get to?
This is that edge building that is like no lights, no
Yeah.
activity,
Yeah.
no nothing.
That's where I was trying to get to.
Yes.
For sure.
I just wanted to
Okay.
be clear that that's the building that we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna investigate the window to make sure that I can open it without it making a lot of noise or crashing, and pry it open to where we could get inside, and trying to do it quietly.
So are you wanting to give me an athletics check, just a pure raw athletics check against a easy target.
What's the silhouette of the window?
A 1.
All right, 2 success and an advantage.
Okay. You easily kind of grab the window, and as you're starting to move it up, it's like the mechanic side of you goes, oh, wait a minute. So you grab a hold of the bracket that's on the side, and you kind of pinch onto it and continue to lift the rest of the window up, letting your hand take and put pressure back on the the hinge itself, so it doesn't squeak or anything like that, and it props wide open.
All right. Come on, man. Let's go check it out. So I'm gonna climb in.
All right. You
I
climb
climb
in.
as well.
You guys climb in, and your eyes kind of adjust a little bit. I know it's dark outside, but in here, because there's really no radiating light whatsoever at this point, even from some of the other buildings or floodlights, it takes a minute for your eyes to adjust to the dark. And what you're seeing is you guys are kind of up. It's like the floor itself isn't even with the outside ground. It just kind of recesses down in there. And you're seeing what looks like an old warehouse, and in front of you there's a couple of different robotic crane arms, off to the left-hand side and further off down to the right-hand side. Catwalks lining the rest of the warehouse itself. It kind of reminds you of an old-school repair bay, because right down in the center of it there's a what looks like a small ship docking clamp, what would be able to reach up and kind of lock onto a ship and hold it in place so that people could get in there and work around it. And then, as your eyes continue to adjust, above you it looks like the roof has the ability to fold open. So this would maybe work on something a little bit larger than a snub fighter, but not a freighter of any kind. And it is dusty, it's dirty, it's nasty. You can tell there has not been any activity happening in this building in a long time.
Perfect.
Sounds like camp.
Yep. So I'm going to see if there's a better vantage point with a little bit of height that I can watch the compound.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what part of the compound are you wanting to watch? Are you wanting to watch that front main building, or back where the landing pads are at, or?
How much, it's not a big building. How much ability do we have to see a bunch of different stuff?
Well, if you remember, what I described to you is you had
This
the
is
front
cornered to it.
here, and it's cornered on the side, so it had a catwalk going down and a catwalk
So we can
coming
see
across.
both. Is there a type of a crow's nest situation in here, like where a foreman might sit while other people did work up top?
There is, but it's almost centered just above where the, just slightly offset to where the docking clamp is.
That's fine.
In
I
the
want to
center
go
of
to
the
that
building.
crow's nest and kind of set up a little kind of temporary camp out spot.
Okay, you can do that. That's perfectly fine.
And since I haven't seen any ships, I'm gonna try to climb up to a spot where I can perceive guards and either if there's routines.
Yeah,
guard
this is kind of
rotations.
our new stakeout zone, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we're looking at.
I kind of gathered that. So the catwalk that you're on right now, Moringa, it does extend and goes down around the building, and it kind of curves off to one side, goes down again, and then comes back. And in that corner, you don't see like where AA runs at in the center. There's kind of an elevated view. There is what looks like a lift that sits there that's very similar in shape. So you're assuming that maybe it would, if it was still working, it would rise up off the ground and be able to put you in line with the upper floor windows to be able to see down over the rest of the shop floor.
If it was still working.
Well, you don't know if
Well,
it is.
we don't
or
know
not.
that it's not working. Yeah, exactly.
I know, but I'm concerned. If I
we
get this
definitely-
thing working.
We definitely don't want to try to turn on any machinery in this building that nobody has set foot in,
Yeah.
because we want to be able to use it for as long as we can.
Yeah.
Right? Like he described it as like there's dust everywhere. It doesn't seem like there's a clear place anywhere. So that tells me they don't even patrol in here.
Yeah.
They don't even look at this building. So like that's
They
kind of what I'm
probably-
leaning on.
They probably assume since they're Black Sun, no one's gonna think to even mess with them.
If this place is run by Black Sun, I kind of am getting a vibe of it may be a shipping facility that's getting paid by Black Sun, to store their underground black market merch.
Another good idea. That's 3 tonight, man.
I watched Breaking Bad recently. It seems like it makes
Oh.
sense. It may
Watch
be
the
Black
Ozarks.
Sun. I don't know.
There's poppy seeds. There's poppies everywhere. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. I kind of want to camp here and just start staking the place out.
All right.
Okay.
So, Moringa, one of the things that you do notice down in that area as well is there are still catwalks that are down in that section. So you can get down there and you can kind of maybe find some crates or something along those lines and prop them up to where you can kind of stand there and look up over the windows and see what you can see that way.
Okay.
It may not be as comfortable, but you still have the ability to do it.
Okay. I'm going to do what I can to be as hidden as I can.
Okay.
And I want to see everything without being seen.
So you only want to
That's
clean
the
this
dream.
like little spot on the windows just big enough for your eyeball?
Big enough for my macro binoculars to look through.
Okay. All right. So with that, you're able to get over there and you prop up a few crates and you're able to get to the point where you can stand up on those crates comfortably and you kind of wipe just enough to where you can get your macro binoculars and you have a very good vantage point of the front of the back building from your original view. So it's the front of that back building and you can see 2 different landing pads. One is very close to where you are right now. Okay? And then across the way is the second one. And in the middle, you can see that it just looks like a large opening of where things would be hauled in and out. And you can see doorways, overhead, roll doors and bay doors that would open up and allow for things to go in and out of the facilities.
Okay. So that's how they get stuff in and out.
And would you please roll me a hard perception check?
Finally, the dice are starting to work in our favor. 2 success and 2 threat.
On a hard check? Nice. Okay. All right. So what you see, and this will kind of count as well. So this, you will receive 2 strain, and that will carry to next session.
Okay.
Because what you do see is that surrounding each of these pads looks like motion-activated floodlights and security cameras lining every 10 feet in the front and back of each of these buildings between the landing pads.
Aaron, I don't think we're going to be able to sneak up on this place,
And that is where we're going to end this session.
All right.
All right.
Thanks
So-
for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and I know this was not going to be a 3 or 4 session night. We did play the game a little bit longer in each session, although our first one was really talking for an hour. So
It was. But we will also be back for more live Star Wars in a couple weeks here.
yes, we
Yeah.
will. So we will we'll let you know, but it looks like probably about 2 weeks from now we'll look at having another live Star Wars night. So with that, guys, keep on adventuring.
Keep on
All right.
adventuring.
Good night.